Welcome back everyone to GuyjinGaymes. Today we're doing our first session of the Odysseys of Theros. Our players have joined us from an international selection of applicants, and today we're going to pick up where our session 0 left off. Without further ado, our adventures opened with the disparate members approaching the great polis Miletus, a destination sent to them in visions of starlight. Before approaching the walls of the most populous city, the party witnesses the hunt of a golden-masked corpse atop a steed by two of his fellow returned. After successfully dispatching the two pursuers and tending to the exhausted horse, they learn of Varius through a cipher inscribed on his mask. The lines of text are inscrutable and etched on every centimeter of the golden funerary mask, save the name Kea. The party realizes this is the name of a local sage of some renown within Miletus. That evening, they approach an ancient temple within the city walls in an older and relatively abandoned district. The structure is weather-worn and under repair. Inside, they experience the benediction of Clothis and Crufix as they are told the story of Enceladus and entreated to seek out further legends. Emerging from the vision, the characters find themselves atop the great stone steps just outside the edifice. 6 motes of starlight emerged from the fading gods' Nixian bodies and settles in front of each character. So, as per last time, we were going to do some magic item request lists, and we can do some of this on the fly for anyone who doesn't have a list or their items added already. Along with the other characters that were inside the temple, the 5 of you that had traveled together, there is a 6th figure now joined with you after the vision. This character is feline, obviously a Leonin, but his garb is relatively strange for their ilk. And with that, I'll let Adam do the rest of the introduction.
Stepping out of the shadow, you all see a tall, black, furred Leonin with a huge, kind of ridiculous, wide-brimmed hat with a large feather sticking out of it, a long coat, and a golden rapier down by his side, just kind of slowly turning a glass of wine as he very confidently strides up towards the rest of you, and it's just like, so... I see I'm not the only one who has some connections with the gods.
Well, hello there. I'm Cleavana, and, well, I don't really know them. We just met on the road outside.
You've been here the whole time?
Oh, absolutely. Didn't you see me?
No, I was more watching the sky turn into a bird.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I'll doff my hat and just this huge, ridiculous bow, one arm out, coat kind of spread behind me.
Pageantry.
I think Cleavana probably gives like an awkward curtsy back, but isn't really sure what to do with this.
Thanks for the follow, Keshik. So, the Triton attempts, the sociable response, and she manages kind of a weird side lean and a little bit of a hand flourish.
Just tilt upright a little bit. There we go, and bend at the knees, keep the hips straight. Perfect. Much better, my dear.
Perfect.
The rest of you are rather quiet.
Yeah. I'm assuming everybody heard the same things I was hearing just a bit ago from this Clothis lady.
I'm still a bird in that call.
Doom of knowledge, immortals emerging, all that kind of thing.
That's the stuff.
Seems we're on the same page then, I see.
Can't say I've ever heard from Clothis before. Does this happen to any of the rest of you?
No, but I'm sure that I am destined to do great things for the gods someday, so really, it was only a matter of time.
Alright. Okay, Miss Destined for Greatness, where to next then?
What time of day is it? Is it still night?
It is still night. It's late, and you can spot the lanterns of the city watch coming up the road.
Should we head back into town and see about discussing our next steps?
I've never been to Miletus.
It's a friendly enough place.
They got big old walls, don't they?
All the better to protect them.
You see, like, Eucles, as you say, all the better to protect them, he just kind of scoffs as if maybe this is like an insult to him.
Those who've built up a false sense of security are often quite a bit easier to con, I find, so I'm keen to see who's in the city.
So far, the party's experience has been pleasant. That afternoon, when you made it into this city, you've been warmly greeted on the streets. You've seen every stripe of individual represented in the populace. And I believe previously you had made it to Kaleidos near the Dacacia, the academy, basically, and found lodging for the evening. I think you have a paid room ready for you.
I guess
I think Nimai did end up changing back while he was
Actually-
on Cleavana's shoulder, if I
I remember that.
correctly.
Yeah, I just felt on top of her.
All right.
Well,
So the party is close to the north gate, Karamako.
Well, how about you, you talky kitty, why don't you go up and, tell them we want to go inside?
Have you had troubles getting through the gates, or...
Not today.
Well, why don't we head back to town then?
I think this is our first time being here. As a group. We've all come from other places.
As have I, actually, so I'm afraid we're all rather on the same footing here.
Alright, I guess, follow me then.
Take the lead, large one.
As the group leaves the older district area, the guards pass and give you a nod and continue about their patrol. The party heads to Kaleidos and the pub room they had rented. I believe everyone's already paid their tab for the evening except for Majesty, who's new to town. And in the morning, the adventurers had planned to get up and find Kea.
Right. We did sleep here last night. I blocked it out.
As the party returns, the tender for the bar comes back to the front, unlocks the door, kind of gives you all a grumble, but lets you back up to your rooms. As you settle in for the evening, no more strange visions of stars and skies visit you, and you're able to finish your long rest. So anyone who hasn't done that, take advantage of that in our Beyond character sheets.
Guy, can I sneak into the bar to try and avoid having to pay any sort of room fee?
Absolutely. So, as you approach the building and it becomes clear which one you're staying at, Majesty slips off into a side alley, unbeknownst to most of the party. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Do we need to roll perception to see if he's gone?
With the way he did it, it's just against your passive perception. He slips silently
I am a shadow
into
in the night.
Yeah. He slips silently into the night while most of you are talking to the bartender as well. So none of you really notice until you head up the stairs to your different rooms and he's already standing in the hall. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me as well, and we'll see if you alerted anyone to your entrance.
Is that athletics you said, or acrobatics?
Athletics. You would have to do a little bit of scaling on the outside of the building to make it to a window. So there's quite a bit of noise as he tumbles in through the window and awkwardly springs back up into a half bow. What's going on up there?
Do we see this happen, or we just
Oh
hear
yeah,
it?
no, this happens like right in front of you at the top of the stairs, down a short hallway about 20 feet long.
You know, I'm not really from here, but I thought cats were supposed to be more nimble than that.
Yes, well, a little bit of broken glass on that window. I just didn't.
Sure. Okay.
Does Tides of Chaos work after the roll? For my class ability?
I think so.
So, yeah,
Tides
can I
of
get a
Chaos
Tides of-
just gives you advantage on things.
Was there somebody who shouted from downstairs?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
You got a "what's going on up there" from a very tired bartender.
I dropped a thing.
I'm gonna try and imitate Eocles' voice and just be like, nothing.
I dropped a thing. Okay. Let's see. That'll be a deception check from Majesty and a persuasion check from Eocles. All right. So somehow in the din of overlapping voices, Eocles is able to convince the bartender it's nothing. I just dropped something on my foot. Don't worry about it. Go back to work. Just keep it down. And
I look kind of... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say you can hear her shut the door behind her as she goes back to her quarters.
I just give a knowing look to our new cat friend and I say, just remember this, fancy talk of wine drinker.
Can I use Tides of Chaos on other people, or is it only me?
You. So it is strictly for you.
Okay, I was thinking of using it on his athletics check.
Yeah. That's such an interesting concept. Okay, so wild magic's gonna be fun. Alright, so the party's able to settle in. Your rooms are paired up. So you've got 2 beds in each room, party of 6 people, so who is going where?
I'm gonna hold the door open and sweep Eocles into that room and just be like, well, we'll have to show you a good time then if you're repaying a debt.
Yeah, so he's not... I think of the group, he would be most inclined to want to stay with Theros, because he's seen him turn into animals. But the fact that you are a personified animal, I think also speaks to him on some level. So he's like, alright.
Alright, so we've got Theros and Majesty as bunkmates.
No, Eocles and Majesty.
Oh, sorry, Eocles.
I'm happy to bunk with Theros.
I guess then it's Theros and Kilvana.
Right. Battle of Niam and Calypso, 3rd room. The following morning when you awake, you come down for breaking the fast as normal. Here in Miletus, your board is customarily included in the fee of the room. There seems to be a central focus around food and shared spaces. So, as you come down, it's a rather large gathering of people all together, breaking bread as a group.
Well, this looks fun. Bit of a celebration.
Yeah, let's grab some food and sit down. Let's have a chat.
Does it appear to be open to other people, or is this like a private event that we're stumbling upon?
This is a generic event. So you see commoners, you see people who were likely staying in the inn, including some of the staff, and you can see locals, probably people who live in the area and are getting together for this event. There's nothing central about it, no particular conversation that's going on. There's definitely nothing particularly ritualistic, beyond the fact that everyone seems to know each other very well and to do this regularly. There is one man who approaches the front door, which at this point they are sprung open and just kind of held there. He has another guard with him. They're dressed fairly well. At least one of them's a sergeant or some sort of ranking member. And behind them in tow, they have a familiar-looking horse.
Well, Clavana, you want to have some food?
Yeah, isn't that the horse from yesterday?
I think it might be. Glad to see it's doing well, I hope.
Yeah.
Are they
Does
bringing
it-
the horse inside? Did I hear that right?
No, they're standing just outside the door, which is propped open so you get a really good look. One of the two, the man dressed in an officer's garb, notices your conversation and kind of waves you towards them.
Can I also go towards them?
Yep, absolutely. The party can stay behind and begin to eat, or anyone who'd like to join the conversation can go ahead and move forward.
I'll
I'll
go.
go forward.
Anyone want to stay and eat? Otherwise, I'll just kind of take you all over there together.
I would like to stay and eat.
There we go. Calypso begins his breakfast.
While they're distracting these guys, I'm just going to do a quick scan for valuables on their person.
Okay, perception check. Go ahead and whisper that roll for me. As you approach the guard, he smiles, actually rather broad and big, and says, "Welcome, travelers. I understand that there was an incident on the road yesterday. The City Watch was happy to tend to and care for this horse. I believe, under local law, it is now yours, if you'd like it, before we conscript it into service. Upon examining the bridle, we discovered its name is Fatina."
We would be happy to take Fatina under our wing.
Yeah.
If I can type correctly, here's her name. Fatina is a well-bred horse, so a draft horse. She can carry quite a bit. She's built for stamina, though, not speed.
All of these are wonderful things, but it won't matter as soon as Eocles releases her into the woods.
I think it would be better to protect her and keep her with us.
Welcome to the party, Fatina.
Yeah, I think Cleavana just takes the bridle, the reins, and just pets her a little bit as Eocles is welcoming her to the party.
Beautiful. She seems to be responsive, very tame, if not domesticated and appreciative of the attention. Outside of the pub hall, there are many places to hitch a horse, as well as water drawn from the local well into a trough. She should be safe and happy where she's at. At least for now.
Well, it looks like we've got a new crewmate.
I think we do for now. So about some of that food, if we're going to be chasing your destiny, Clavana, maybe we should do so on a full belly.
Agreed.
Are we chasing her destiny, or perhaps the destiny of all of us?
Oh, I don't pretend to know these things.
I think it's all of our destinies are tied together.
As
Well, let's go get some food.
You have some kind of godly connection,